A lot of times I get on here and I teach about carbs and fats and when to do workouts, but most of the time when I get on here with you guys, it's about something different. And while carbs and fats and calories and getting your steps in and drinking your water and getting your fiber and all that stuff is so important, my grandmother used to laugh and she'd say, it's more importanter. She knew that wasn't a word, but all that is great. Knowledge is great. And many people say knowledge is power. And I don't believe that because I've seen many people with the knowledge that don't put the knowledge to use, right? So we go to the doctor. Have you guys ever gone to the doctor and you had an obese doctor? I have, or seen an obese, you know, RN or all of these things, right? And so knowledge isn't power all the time. I mean, just thinking about my Christian life, gosh, I have a lot of knowledge, but dang, I sure have sinned. You know what I'm talking about? Knowledge doesn't make you live your best life. It helps you understand what life is supposed to look like and what the best version of you is supposed to be, or what your diet should look like, or what your exercise should look like. That's what knowledge does. But it's about putting that knowledge into action. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. And that's the thing, the head game. You know, I always tell everybody the best part I believe about having a coach or being around women who are on the same journey as you is that it's you learn to put it into play when you don't feel like it. When you think, oh my gosh, see, I've been there, ladies. I know what it feels like to feel like you're failing at everything. Some of you think, well, Allie, she got there and it must have been quick. Oh, Lord Almighty, no. It was not, it was a battle for me. And more than anything, I didn't understand, I didn't have the knowledge because all the marketing out there just screws you up. You don't know, oh my God, I don't know. I don't think I should eat a carb. I think they're gonna make me obese. I have a carb and all these things we think, you know, and we go on these diets where we get little food and we gosh, we go without food and then we go on crazy diets where we take drops and shots and pills and try to lose 30 pounds in 30 days like I did. I wanted to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, didn't know what it would do to me, right? I didn't realize that that was part of my problem, that I kept decreasing my muscle mass every time I did crazy diets and was destroying my metabolism. And no wonder I gained it back, right? And I was pushing my body to these horrible places where it just was, I think I'm winning. And it was just a failure. It was just a failure. There'd always be a rebound, and I'd always end up in the same place I was before or in a worse place. When I started this journey, I felt like I was spinning my wheels. I felt like I've tried everything. This is not going to work. But I was at a place in my life where I said, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. I honestly never thought that I could transform my body like that. Never, ever. I'm not where I want to be, but I sure as heck never thought I'd be here. I honestly did not. What you're seeing right here is a woman who failed a time and time and time again, who wondered if, gosh, is this all in vain? But I had a husband that was committed to working out and I loved him. And I thought, I'm going for it, girls. I'm going for it. I'm going to show up at that gym too. He's not going without me. I'm going to learn about my diet. And it was a lot for me. I had to learn and study nutrition and so much more. And so I almost walked away from it even whenever I was going with him. He was seeing incredible results. He was seeing incredible results when I met him. And I was starving myself to death trying to see results and working out in the gym hard as I could 5 or 6 days a week. And you guys saw some of the pictures of me. I went from swollen eyes almost completely closed to just bony skinny. I tried everything. I was all the places in between. I felt awful. I've been there, wondered, is it going to work? Can my body change? I remember going to a competition and there was a 70-year-old lady, 70 something year old lady on stage in a competition. And her body was incredible. And I thought, this just has to be genetics. This has to be genetics because this 70 something year old lady is rocking that bikini and I ain't going to put one on. No. And I learned from there that it was about nutrition, mostly about nutrition. And I thought, that is nuts. That sounds insane. That does not sound right. What's your magic key? Nutrition. Yeah, right. It sounds ridiculous, but I found that it was true. But listen, I don't want to go there. I want to get back to how I felt. I felt burnout. I felt exhausted. I had no belief in myself. I never thought I would be here ever, not even close. My goal was just to stay skinny. I just wanted to be skinny. I didn't know why I was gaining all the weight. I just wanted to lose it. That was my goal. And I wasn't just fighting my body, ladies. Every part of me felt like it was fighting against me. Does that make sense? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, it's like no matter how hard you try, everything is working against you? That's how I felt. I know Stacy's been there. I know. And you feel like, I don't know if I'm going to come out of this. See, I was fighting for my life. I wasn't just fighting for my body. I was starting over at age 50 with nothing. I literally owned a few clothes, a hair dryer, and a curling iron. I had a borrowed car. I had nothing else. My kids were mad at me. Everything in my life seemed like it was going wrong. I was sick, felt awful, gaining weight, puffy, inflammation, going through menopause, all the stuff. Got divorced, almost 31-year marriage. It was awful. Walked away from this stuff because it was easier to do than fight for me and fight for the things. And so I just walked away. Couldn't find a job. Then COVID hit. No one would hire me because I was in the music industry. They didn't see value in me. I understand what it feels like. And it felt like everything in my life was just going against me. And maybe you feel that way too. Maybe you feel like I came on with Allie and it's not changing very fast, or it's not changing at all. You feel like it's not changing at all. See, that's the head game here. I've seen some of the best players in basketball and football play horribly on the court in basketball. And you wonder why. Michael Jordan talks about it being a head game. When his whole team would have this negative space and they didn't play up to their potential, Michael found his head game. He already had failed a lot. And he knew he had to work extra hard to just be as good as people who were on the court already. And he had to work much harder than they did to excel farther than they were. It took a lot for Michael Jordan to just become average. Did you know that? That's a crazy story. If you've never heard the story of Michael Jordan, you have to see a movie or read something about him because it's amazing. He was rejected from basketball teams. And he was outside for hours and hours and hours every single day, practicing and practicing in the dark, practicing and practicing hours every single day because he wanted it. And he, in my opinion, He is the best of all time, the best basketball player of all time. Now, I'm not a basketball fan, but when Jordan was playing, girls, I was watching. I love to see him play. It was amazing to me to see that man play. But sometimes you would see his whole team would be out of the game, mental game here, not on. And Michael would step to a new place and he would win the basketball game, sometimes almost by himself. It was amazing to see, but you know what he had that they didn't have sometimes? This right here. See, this right here defeated me my whole entire life. This right here. Because I've told myself, I gave up on myself. I believed I couldn't. This right here defeated me every single time. And I can guarantee you, if you're here and you're breathing, and you are, that this right here has defeated you too. It's your belief in yourself or the belief in the process, to believe that you're good enough or that you have the ability to do it. You know, it's about trusting the process as well. The journey, ladies, is not fast. When we come on here, you know, some of us are on shots to lose weight and not losing weight fast enough, and then afraid to go off shots because we don't know how to eat, and we know that the weight that we lost probably will come back. And I have women come on this program and they're so fearful to come off of these shots, these weight loss shots. Like, oh my gosh, or the weight loss shot has quit helping them lose weight. And now they don't know what to do. I've had women come on after the shot and with major muscle loss, and they still don't have the head game to stay in the game. They want it short, they want it fast, they want it now. And it defeats them every time. Every single time. And they're looking for the next fix, the next fast, the next pill. And we abuse our bodies looking for a win when all it really requires is a choice. And we don't believe it, so we don't keep our head in the game. It's a choice. I wrote a note down here earlier. I was thinking about all this, and I want you to hear this because this is so true. I listened to the voices in my head, the voices that said, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I don't have time, I didn't make myself a priority. I thought everything else was more important than me and my life. I listened to those voices. And here's the thing, they kept talking to me, and they'll keep talking if you listen. But if you stop and you begin to speak things over yourself and believe things about yourself that are different, it'll change your life. You know, I have many of you that'll send your pictures to me and you'll go, oh, they're awful. They're awful, Allie. They're awful. And when some of you do that, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, this is such a great thing to do. Whether you think you are the most overweight you've ever been in your life, I want you to look at that. And instead of seeing disgust or sadness or, oh my God, I gave up on myself, I can't do this, I want you to look at it as, what an opportunity. We all like the stories of an underdog. Do you guys like the story of an underdog? Someone who's just, there's no chance they're going to win. There's no chance. And then they come up from behind and they're like, they're winning. And we're watching movies about it and we're reading stories about it. We love the underdog story. What if you're the underdog? You know what an underdog does? The difference between an underdog that wins and an underdog that loses, right here. Because we all fail. We all start out in a place where, most of us do anyway, where we don't want to be here and we want to be up here, but we give up on ourselves and we quit. I wrote this and I want you guys to hear this. Here's the kicker. If you don't fight for this now, if you don't dig deep, dig so deep that you dig so deep that you uncover strength that you never knew you had. That's what I want you to do. If you don't do that, you're going to lose something more valuable than any number on a scale or any change in the mirror. You know what you'll lose? You'll lose you. I lost myself. And when you come on here and you ladies are saying, I want to lose weight, I want to be this and that and the other, that is such a beautiful thing. It's not a sad thing. It's a beautiful thing. Because becoming the best version of yourself, building confidence in yourself again is beautiful. You don't have to live just by the skin of your teeth and barely get by. That's we get stuck and we think this is all I've ever had, this is all I'll ever be. This is all I can achieve. I have no more value than this. And that is such a lie. We've been watered down. We've watered ourselves down. We've listened to the words of others. What I am talking about here is bod babes. Listen to me. It's not just a weight loss thing. I hope it's like the school of greatness. Because becoming the best version of yourself, finding yourself, is one of the most powerful journeys I've ever taken. One of the most powerful things I've ever done in my life is to learn that I have value. What does that have to do with weight loss, Allie? A whole lot. When I look at a very confident, strong woman, some women just look like they got it all together. What is that? A lot of times it's just a woman who has found the value in herself. And it's beautiful to me. When someone starts to rise up and they've got this story of this horrible place in their life that they were and all the things that they went through and faced, even things like shoulder surgery, Christine. And, you're fighting. And I know it's frustrating. And I hear you, it's so frustrating, right? It is. You work so hard, you get to this place where you're just like, oh my God, I'm getting so happy. I'm finally getting to my goal. It's been a lot of work. And then boom, guess what? Now you got to have shoulder surgery and now you're out. And you could truly sit on your butt and you could just become whatever and say, well, this just happened to me and it's just life. And I'm just going to sit back, eat potato chips and watch Days of Our Lives, if Days of Our Lives is even on. And you know what? You're not. But when you, here's the thing, and I'm speaking to more than Christine, but I want you to hear me, Christine. When you look at those pictures and you think, oh God, don't stay there. You're a fighter and you had a temporary setback. See, there are women who will give up on themselves. How many women have been there? Me, I have given up on myself more than I've ever fought for myself. I have given up on myself, but these last 6, 7 years, I'm learning to fight for me. And to learn that it's a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing. It's beautiful to become, all that I was created to be. What a beautiful thing, in spite of being abused as a child. See, I was abused as a child and I could have stayed right there and rehearsed that, and I did. And I remember most of my life till probably age 35, 40, just rehearsing it. Why did my parents treat me like this? Not my dad. This was my stepdad and my mom let it happen. Why did I go through this? Why were we, I remember my mom praying for food and government assistance and living in a trailer, single wide 1967 trailer with holes in my bedroom floor, snakes coming in my room, bats coming in my room, waking up to my stepdad with a tennis racket over my head, trying to knock a bat out of the air. No joke. Getting things from church giveaways for clothes, having kids at school make fun of me that they saw me at their church giveaway where they had given clothes, hiding in the seats down in the floorboard when my mom went into Goodwill, afraid that people would see me there from school and make fun of me again. Then I was raped. And I dealt with that till I was probably 50 years old. And then left a 31-year marriage that I got married to a man because I was pregnant, got pregnant when I was 19. And it was not a good marriage. He's not a psychopath or a killer, thank God. But it was not a good marriage, not at all. And you talk about a loser. Then I'm singing music and I'm 50 years old and one of the biggest producers that produced Rascal Flatts and put them on the path that they were on, to me, I just loved Rascal Flatts. I walk into a room with these guys, and the first question I'm asked is, how old are you? From an old man in the music industry. And I had to say, I'm almost 50. And my dreams were dying in front of me. What an opportunity to walk in that building, hopes high. And the first question is, how old are you? Ugh. And I was afraid to tell anyone my age. I remember going on YouTube when I turned 50 and I said, this is enough. I'm going to just say, hey, I just turned 50. And I did. And it scared the heck out of me, but I did it. And that's where my journey kind of started changing. And I quit the music industry and walked away. And I felt like a failure in my marriage. I gained weight on and off. I was starving myself, felt like a failure in the music industry. I had nothing left. And here I am. So when you look up to me, and some of you have, and thank you for that. That's really sweet. But I want you to remember you're looking at a failure. Right here. We all fail. We all think I can never do anything or accomplish anything. And I haven't accomplished things that people have accomplished, but I've changed my life. And every day I'm learning more about fighting for me. And that is a beautiful thing. It's not selfish. It's beautiful. Fulfilling your potential. Think about, if you have children, think about your children. Don't you want them to just be the very best version of themselves? Like to just blossom, no matter what that looks like. Whether it's somebody that just is a school teacher and just the best school teacher, and they love it and they light up whenever they know that they have accomplished that goal, or whatever it might be, whatever that might be, or having just a great mother, just seeing your child become the most wonderful mother to your grandchildren. How does that make you feel? Now, I want you to think about whether you're a Christian or not, believe in God or not. I want you to think about that. And then I want you to think about you. How do you feel that would make your parents, if maybe they're even gone, feel if they saw you become the best version of yourself? For me, my parents didn't celebrate that. But my relationship with God says, I think he's getting pretty proud of me. I mess up all the time. I beat myself all up all the time, and I'm learning to stop. And that's what I'm asking you to do. When you look at those pictures, I want you to see potential, not hate and thinking I can never become more, because you can always become more. Our lives are not over. We might be 40, we might be 50, we might be 60, and some of us here are 70-ish. But we still have breath in our lungs. And no matter how short of time we have left or how long that might be, there's always room for growth and change. You can blossom. The stories of people in their 50s and 60s that have changed their entire life. I know very little about the Kentucky Colonel Sanders and Kentucky Fried Chicken, but I do know that he decided that when he was an old man, that he knew he could not live off Social Security and he had to do something different. And I do know that he was rejected and he was asking people at convenience stores, would you please let me come in and sell my chicken? And I do know that after the age of 60, he became a multimillionaire. Who knows how much money the man had? Those kind of stories inspire me. So while you're out here learning to lose weight and all this stuff, let me just tell you this. What does it have to do with weight loss, Allie? What does it have to do with bod babes? Because the character that causes you to change your life starts right here. For me, it started in the gym and with my food, learning to control myself, learning to find discipline. Because without discipline and reining in this right here, you cannot change your body. You cannot change your life. If you believe the lies that your brain tells you, you want to know how I know they're lies? Oh my God, I've experienced it. I know you know too, but when I've been in the gym and I have thought this is a really bad day, and my husband says, I would say something like, I just really feel weak today. I just barely can lift up this bar today or something like, and I'm serious. I feel weak. And my husband goes, nope, Allie, that is just your brain. Nothing has changed. Okay. So Wade would go and he said, I do not want you to look how much weight I'm putting on this bar. And he would put weight on there on a squat. And when I hit the biggest squat I have ever done in my lifetime was when I felt the weakest. My brain told me I could not do it. And Wade said, no, Allie, no, you're not doing it. You're not giving up. You're not looking at how much weight I put on here. 250 pounds. I squatted 250 pounds. And he said, do you realize you just squatted 250 pounds? I was like, no. He goes, you can do more than that. I was like, no. He goes, maybe it'll just be 5 pounds, but just don't look. I'm going to put some weight on there. Maybe it'll be 2.5 pounds on each side, but you just push that. Let's see what you got. He put 20 on there, 270-pound squat on my weakest, what I felt was my weakest day. That shows you. I've had times whenever Wade said, man, that's all the push-ups I can do. And I would just start yelling, go, 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 push Wade. And he's burning and he's going, no, I can't. I'm like, push, fight for it, fight for it. See how many you can really do. Fight, fight, fight. And he thought he was done way down here. And he had so much more left in him. Your brain will tell you to play small, ladies, and will tell you this is all you've got. You can never do that. You could never get to where you want to go with this. You could never do that. Give up. and you're wore out, you're tired, the journey's long, it's taken longer than you think, and it's requiring more of you than you thought you were ever even willing to give. And you wanted it easy, and I did too. But if you keep your head in the game and you fight, it will build character in you. It will make you start believing that you can do bigger things than you ever thought you could do. And you'll start changing and believing in yourselves. I have seen women in Bod Babes, listen to me, thought their marriage, I mean, they were sleeping. This woman, Gina, was sleeping in a different room from her husband. That was it. As soon as their twins graduated, they were getting a divorce, hadn't told the kids yet. And she said, Allie, I didn't think I could lose weight like this. And something is changing in me. And I'm seeing that I can do things that I never thought I could do over weight loss, ladies. And she said, I really want my marriage to work. I think it's sad that we've been married this long and we're getting a divorce. And she said, my husband, I don't know what he's going to say, but I want to fight for our marriage. She wrote this really long email. Oh my God, it made me weep. And I was just like, holy crap. Like, please don't let this fail. Oh, please. You're sitting there going, oh God, everything is on the line. She's going to want to get her marriage back and he's going to say no. And no, she's going to freak out. And I don't know what I'm going to do if that happens. And it was probably 4 to 6 weeks. It's been a long time since then, but she wrote another email, and Wade and I sat up in the bed and were reading our email that morning, and we just started weeping, crying. She said, I woke up in my husband's arms this morning. And then she started running 5Ks. So her daughters ran and she started running. And it was just the most amazing transformation. And I didn't think about it then. I was watching her go and I was like, I didn't think about it then. Now I look back, the same thing was happening to me. I was changing my entire life. And here I am in front of you today, telling you, you can do this. Quit dumbing it down and make dumbing yourself down. I want you to look, and maybe some of you need to write down to make it real in front of your face. The battles that you faced in your life, they didn't kill you. And look at the stories of others. The people that we root on, that we cheer on. Oh my gosh, did you see where they come from? And where they are now? Oh my gosh, how incredible is that? It all started right here. Right here. The difference is they might have quit fighting every now and then, but they got back up and they kept going. And that's what this journey is about. If you want to get to your goals, if you want to be the best you, it all starts right here. I love you, ladies. Quit listening to those crazy voices in our heads that tell us we're not good enough, we're not strong enough, that we should be ashamed, that we should be sad over all the horrible things we went through. I'm done being sad. It's time for me to move on. I'm 57 years old. And instead of letting life work against me, all those horrible things, even rape, I decided to let it work for me. I'm going to say one thing, I'm going to let you go because we're running late. But Tony Robbins, and whether you love him or hate him, said, what if everything in your life is working for you? And I felt like at the time, everything in my life was working against me. So what if it's working for you? And I thought, pardon my French, but what the hell? How in the hell can rape work for you? How in the hell could child abuse work for me? Come on. And then I thought, Instead of being fearful and sad and afraid to let a man touch me, and all these things that I'd been taught, I was almost 50 years old. I decided to say, I'm taking my power back. I'm in control of this. I'm not living the rest of my life like this. And guess where it started? Right here. I want to experience love. I want to know that kind of love before I die. I've got to get rid of this skin crawling thing every time someone touches me. And it was a mental battle. I remember going to a counselor and I told her, I don't want to fall in love with Wade. I don't want to love him. He is going to hurt me. And she said, are you going to die? No, probably not. Well, what are you afraid of? Would you rather go to your grave without knowing love like that? No. Then don't you think you better take a chance? Ugh, what a choice. Felt like an awful choice. But it changed my life. And I started speaking out about rape and letting people know right on the internet that I had been raped and what all I went through. And I was abused as a kid and I was bullied in school and I started speaking up. And as I spoke up, Stacy, I began healing. When I began to speak out, and I felt like everyone's going to judge me, and some did. But I'll tell you what, it was liberating. I was no longer hiding in the dark with my pain and with my fear and with my sadness. And I saw other people out there who would come out of the dark and they would say, Allie, I've never told anybody this. And then I'd get to minister to them and I'd get to help them and it'd heal me more. And so now I do believe those words. What what if life is not always fair, but what if life is working for you? Everything in life. You know, it would be boring to read a book about someone who didn't overcome obstacles. It would be boring. What if we wrote a story and this girl, her family was rich, she had the nicest of things, great parents. She grew up in a wonderful neighborhood, made A's in school, all the kids loved her. She went to college, became a lawyer. She was the best lawyer. Da 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 da, and goes on and on. Would you want to read that book? That'd be boring. It'd be like, oh, well, yay, yay. No, you want to read the one where it said, oh my God, she went through this and that and this and that and this and that, but look at her now. That could be you. That is you. Keep fighting, ladies. Get that tracking in. Don't let tracking your food stop you. Come on. Come on. It's a trivial thing. Just get it done. It'll change your life for real. It'll teach you so much. You're worth it. You're worth the fight. You're worth the time. I love you, ladies. Have a great night.